A, meeting opening. A, call to order. A2, pledge of allegiance.
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all.
We will now observe a moment of silence. Thank you. A3, adoption of the agenda. Are there any consent agenda items that a board member would like to have discussed as an action item? Hearing none, do I have a motion that the governing board adopt the meeting agenda?
That we adopt the meeting agenda.
Thank you, Ms. Ocampo. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Solorio. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Double checking. All right, consent agenda item passed. Moving to B, presentation. We'll have Ms. Bilyeu present our budget update.
Good evening, President Navarez, members of the board, and Superintendent Dr. Myers. Tonight's update continues the budget planning conversation that we began together in the board retreat in November. The decisions and progress you see this evening reflect the strategic commitments we made then, grounded in our values and shaped by the realities we continue to navigate. Before we move into the heart of tonight's update, I wanted to ground us in the values that shape how we lead. These core values reflect more than just our individual commitments. They define the collective identity that we have as a system. And as we face tough decisions, we do so united in purpose, working towards a shared goal of ensuring every student receives what they need to succeed, and we remain committed to excellence, not just outcomes, but in how we serve, support, and respond. These values and our theme are at the center of every choice we're making. So this slide helps us examine our current reality. And in November, we focused on building a shared understanding of the district's financial foundation. This slide is a reminder of that conversation. We discussed how enrollment trends, which have continued to decline, are a central driver of our budget reality. From FY19 to now, we've lost nearly 2,400 students, and this has significantly impacted our revenue, most notably in Title I and other federal allocations, where we've seen a reduction of over $2.7 million since FY19. While our M&O reserves or revenue have relatively held steady, the purchasing power of those dollars have not. And at the retreat, we examined how our staffing practices, particularly class size targets and supplemental roles, must evolve to match our current and projected enrollment. We also discussed the importance of maintaining a strategic focus, balancing student needs like behavioral support and intervention with the need to stay fiscally responsible. And finally, we acknowledged that staff capacity building will be the key in this next phase, especially as we manage resources differently. The context continues to guide our decisions and is the foundation for the actions that we will illustrate on the next slide. So slide 4 shares with you what we talked about in the November retreat. It reflects the staffing principles and the budget realities that guided our actions this year. At the retreat, if you recall, we discussed how ESSER funds had temporarily allowed us to expand staffing, particularly in support roles that extended beyond what our core funding could sustain. And now that those funds have ended, we've made the intentional shift away from those temporary models and returned to foundational staffing practices that are grounded in class size formulas, operational need, and enrollment-based funding. We also, in November, reviewed the major components of our budget, including M&O and title funds and other federal grants, compared our practices with other entities, and clarified the real strain lies within our ongoing M&O budget, which has remained flat even as enrollment and ADM continue to decline. This slide here reiterates the strategic staffing adjustments we committed to, not just in the classroom, but also in school-based support roles, custodial coverage, and district-level positions to align resources with our current student population. We remain committed to intentional capacity building. Some of that was happening today, ensuring that all staff are prepared to meet student needs, particularly around behavioral and mental health, without relying on now unfunded positions. And through that process, we made a clear set of strategic commitments, and the next slide reflects the progress we made as a district as a result of those commitments. So in this slide here, it reflects the progress, as I stated, as a direct result of the strategic commitments outlined in the previous slide. Our focus on aligning staffing to actual enrollment and applying consistent class size formulas has allowed us to make meaningful adjustments while maintaining support for students. So I want to take a minute to orient you to the chart before we dive into the results. The top, it's two boxes clearly stacked, and the top box provides a breakdown of certified staff who support at the site level. The data is organized by group, covering grade level, special area, intervention, and behavioral support. You'll also see current enrollment numbers as of July 15th, alongside the class ranges we committed to, which are on the left, where they're applicable. To assess alignment with our staffing goals, we took each group's enrollment and divided it by the midpoint class size range to determine the appropriate numbers of teachers. And I am pleased to report that through a lot of collaborative and hard work and a lot of work with HR, all grade levels are currently operating within the targeted class range. So for each group, we also show the number of certified staff in this contract year compared to the number of certified staff in the previous contract year. And you can see that in total, we were able to reduce 28 site level certified positions, yielding an estimated $1.8 million in M&O salary savings. These reductions respect thoughtful, data-driven decisions grounded in the staffing framework that we committed to earlier in the year. You may notice the TBD and think to yourself, well, what about kindergarten? You see that a TBD is listed there in the number of teachers. So you'd be right to notice that, and I appreciate your attention to detail. The reason that is there is that as of July 15th, we had 551 kindergarten students enroll, and that number on its own doesn't complete the picture. And I want to reassure you that we are on track with enrollment similar to where we were last year. Kindergarten enrollment grows significantly in the final weeks leading up to the first day of school. And to offer you reassurance, I just wanted to give you some numbers to think about. July 15th of last year, at the same time that we pulled this number, we had 549 kindergartners enrolled. 551 now, so we're ahead of the game. We jumped on July 22nd to 616. By July 29th, that number rose to 690. And on the first day of school, we reached 838. By day 9, we had 921 kindergartners. So if you apply the same math that I did for the other grade levels where we have a confirmed enrollment, the math is spot on. We need 39 kindergarten teachers. Thank you, HR. We have 39 kindergarten teachers. So the second box, the box below the box with the yellow chart, reflects the adjustments made outside of the classroom as part of our response to declining enrollment. Here we've outlined the total number of FTE reduced, the specific positions that were impacted, and the estimated salary savings associated with those reductions. So just as a reminder, these figures represent salary only. They do not include benefit costs for eligible positions. So the final financial impact is even greater than what you see on the slide. Altogether, the adjustments made in this section represent a combined savings of just over $1 million across our M&O and grant funded budgets. They were very strategic reductions, focusing on maintaining direct student support while trimming in areas farther from the classroom to bring our staffing model in line with our current reality. You will be reassured to know, as I was, that all reductions were achieved through attrition, and staff impacted by program or site level shifts were supported by human resources to secure placement in a comparable position, resulting in 0 displaced employees. Okay. When you move to the next slide, this timeline, it has the dates from our work last year because it was what we used to guide the work that led to over $2.5 million in staffing adjustments across the district. The process brought together cabinet, department leaders, and department leaders to strategize, build a consistent staffing framework, and support site administrators as we assessed impact and final reductions. The multi-step collaborative process, designed to be transparent and grounded in data, will be used again in FY26 with some timeline adjustments to better reflect the evolving realities of state and federal funding. This work was not easy, but it is a reflection of who we are, and we remain united in purpose, committed to excellence. This concludes my presentation, so I'm happy to take any questions you have at this time.
Thank you, Ms. Bilyeu. Any questions from the board?
Yes, Mr. President.
Yes, Mr. Conches.
Ms. Bilyeu, in terms of the school office staffing, will we still be doing year-round positions for school office
Yes,
staff?
the decision made to support offices with 2 full-time FTE does remain because it is a commitment to our families and the convenience that it provides them to be able to access our offices in the summer and get that enrollment work done. We also believe it was central to supporting a higher enrollment of kindergarten students, because it just makes the office accessible as it should be to support our families. So yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, all of you. This is hard work, and it's not very rewarding work. It's stressful when you think of what you have to go through and in order to maintain the services to our students and our families. And I know you all have spent sleepless nights trying to make decisions that will keep us afloat, for lack of a better word, and sustain our ability to service our students and our families at the level that we do. You mentioned the class sizes. What happens when a class goes over that size? So a teacher has 35 kids instead of 28.
Yes, there is a practice in place. I can defer to Ms. Perry if you'd like, because she'd be your best and most accurate reflection of, but we do respond to that, and there is a system. So if you'd like the details, I'm sure Ms. Perry is happy.
She's shaking her head, so. Yes.
Well, during the first, great question, thank you. During the first 10 days of our school year, we have a system in place annually where we, really from day one, we're looking at those enrollments and looking at those numbers.
Counted every day, every class.
Yeah, yes, we're waiting for those to come in and doing it. So we'll adjust within the first 10 days of school with those situations where if we are understaffed, because that's a situation you're explaining where we have too many students in a room of 35, 36, we would be looking to relieve that and looking at options and talking with the leader and the principal as to if they have, solutions within their own campus. And then if we need to be taking a look at our overstaffed areas where we might have enrollment at 17 or 18 students in a class, or 15, or an area where we can pull from, we'll do our very best to level out classes that way. Does that help solve the question? And if
Right. My question more was, what happens in November when it
November.
has 35 kids instead of, and then we have a goal of 28?
We have about 3 or 4 different scenarios and processes that we can work through with different options, depending on, like, for instance, maybe it's a team who can absorb those kids and say, hey, we'll take them. We would like to work together and keep it kind of together. Maybe we'll add in an intervention or instructional assistant who might take the groups and move them into a different area. But we're hitting 35 and 36 is not ideal. So we'll work with the staff, work with the leader to ensure whatever solution will be best for that situation. If we had a grade level at about 31 students last year, and they said, no, we're going to keep all of these 31 kids because we know our teaching and so
Our teachers have big hearts.
if it's, that answers, if you want to.
That does. And then I specifically wanted to know about 6th, 7th, and 8th grade where they departmentalize, because that tends to be an issue, to have enough teachers to be able to do that departmentalization, and that can skew the numbers in the class sizes.
Especially when you're looking at maybe first hour has so many kids, but second hour, is a little bit higher or lower. So that's our staffing team, our Sorry, what's the, and that our master scheduling team will also work through those, not problems, but those opportunities.
Well, what I don't like is if I see that the upper grades, sixth, seventh, and eighth, in order to do that departmentalization, shift the average so that we have lower grades that have more students to accommodate the departmentalization in the upper grades. And so that's something I would hope that we were keeping an eye on,
Absolutely.
because we all know that has happened.
What I've noticed with both parts of your question, the first part regarding the when the class size is over and the collaboration, I've appreciated as watching the process, the collaboration that HR does with the administrator, because they truly do. You do end up with grade levels that will say, we really don't want another teacher, but we do need some relief. And HR is very good at making sure that the needs of the team are met so that the students' needs are met without compromising the level of excellence in the classroom. So it really isn't always solved in the same manner, but they have used the strategies that Ms. Perry has shared with you at the discretion of the administrator and the team who really are making the final decision based on what's best for their kids and their team.
And I appreciate that flexibility that you've provided to each school site. That's really important because they do know their students and their teachers.
Yeah.
And like I said, I know our
Yeah.
teachers are big-hearted. And
Yes.
the other thing no, this is just a statement. I don't believe in grade level splits, 2-3 combos. I don't like those combinations. And it's
That's-
just a matter of my personal preference. But I would hope that we don't go to that option unless it's the absolute plan Z.
I tend to agree with you, and that is typically our practice. That is
We
not
all know it's
ideal.
about what I like, right?
I
But
know.
no,
It's all
I
about
don't
what
think
we
that, I don't think that is the best for our students.
I would agree.
Okay,
Yeah.
Thank you for your answers.
Yes. Well, the second part that I wanted to reiterate is what Ms. Perry alluded to with the mass scheduling team or the master scheduling team and the work that administrative services does under Ms. Gonzalez's direction, because both of those teams, ed services and administrative services, work together and are monitoring the schedules, but also the number of kids that are sitting in each section so that there is typically a solution out there. And so they support the schools when they see any red flags.
Okay.
So it's not something that we don't wait. We are not on the defense when it comes to that. We play offense and are monitoring regularly.
I think I've learned that over my years here, that you don't wait around.
We don't.
You plan ahead. So thank you. I also was impressed by the fact that you factored in the parts of buildings that aren't being used and counted that into your needs at the school site. So thank you for doing that.
Of course.
Thanks for all your hard work.
Thank you. It's our pleasure.
Anyone else? Just real quick, really loud. Okay, just real quick. I do want to express my appreciation as well for just the effort that you and your team are putting into not just getting this prepared, but just keeping the community informed. I think we had a lot of opportunities this year and a little bit of and quite a bit last year to continue informing the board and us, and so that's very much appreciated because it helps us with the big picture, helps us prepare and understand why you all are using the strategies that are being used. So thank you for that and for continuing to inform the community.
Of course. So it's important to keep them informed.
Thank you. I think I'm in public comment. Yeah, okay. All right. Thank you, Ms. Billiou. We'll move to C, public comment, C1, public comment. Moving to D, consent agenda. I call D1, approval of the consent agenda. I call for a motion that the governing board approve the consent agenda items D2 through D9.
Mr. President, I move that the governing approve consent agenda items D2 through D9.
Thank you, Mr. Conchas. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. De Ocampo. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you. Motion passed. Moving to E, Business Department, E1, Financial Report. that is available to you in your board packet. F, new business. F1, selection of district delegate for ASPA. I call for a motion that the governing board select a, well, is this where we first select, or just we call for a motion first? Okay. I call for a motion that the governing board select a district delegate and an alternate delegate to represent AESD as the district delegate to the ASBA delegate assembly.
Mr. President, I move that the governing board approve a district delegate and an alternate to the Arizona School Boards Association delegate assembly.
Thank you, Mr. Contreras. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Solorio. And now it's time for our discussion.
Let's all rush to volunteer for this.
Who would like to go?
It's usually the person
I'll
who
be
isn't
out of
here.
state that weekend or that day, so I won't be able to do it.
Mr. President, we all know how much we love the Arizona School Board Association. So I'll be the district delegate.
All right.
And I'll be the alternate.
So then, do we just motion for Mr. Contreras to be the delegate and Ms. De Ocampo to be the? Just name them. Okay.
Would Ms. Santana also be interested in being an alternate?
Yes, I am.
Ms. Santana, you're interested in being an alternate, which would be September 7th? 6th? September 6th.
Yes, I'm interested.
And Ms. De Ocampo, okay. Ms. De Ocampo withdraws her self-nominee. So we have Mr. Contreras as the delegate and Ms. Santana as the alternate. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion
Aye.
passed. Sorry. Thank you. Moving to F. Yes, it's gonna be fun. I've been going the last couple of years, and it's like you take your popcorn. Take your
It's
All right.
interesting. Fun is not the word I'd use. Interesting, and popcorn's a good suggestion.
All right. F2, proposed 2026 political agenda. I call for the motion that the governing board approve the Arizona School Boards Association's draft 2026 political agenda and direct the district's delegate to represent the board's determined position.
I recommend that the governing board. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, I'm reading the wrong one. I move that we approve the Arizona School Boards Association's draft of the 2026 political agenda and direct the district's delegates to the ASBA Delegate Assembly to represent the board's determined position.
Thank you, Mr. Ocampo. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Contreras. Any discussion?
Yeah. And I said it when we were going over this political agenda. I would hope that at some point in time, the ASBA could condense this and focus on, they have so many different areas that they're looking at. It's hard for me to believe that they're stretched so thin on every area. It's hard for me to believe they can lobby effectively on every single one of these points they have on this agenda. I would like to see them, and I've expressed that to them as well. It would be nice to see if they can consolidate it down and come up with an agenda that's shorter and more concise.
Thank you, Mr. Ocampo. Any other comments or discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you. Motion passed. Moving to G, comments and communication. G1, comments from governing board members.
I want to thank people for having this meeting since I was the one that suggested it. Thanks for coming out. I also would like, and I don't know that it's, no, wait a minute, this is going to wait. This is waiting. I moved to
Comments.
comments now. I changed my.
Thank you, Mr. Ocampo. Any other comments? All right, thank you. Moving to G2, comments from superintendent and executive team.
Good evening, everyone. This evening we'll begin our comments with Dr. Slover. Governing Board President Navarro, Governing Board members, and Superintendent Dr. Myers. On Monday, July 21st, the Ed Services team is hosting our Team Lead Summit. At the summit, we will provide professional development in the work of collaborative teams to our team leads, site academic coaches, and our principals. These structures will be used throughout the year to ensure high-quality instruction and student learning. We look forward to this time with our team leads, site academic coaches, and principals to establish a solid start for the 2025-26 school year.
Good evening, President Nevares, Governing Board members, and Superintendent Dr. Mayes. I want to, first of all, thank you for your approval of the pink bus that will be promoting mammogram screening at our health fair on August 13th. We're very excited for that. And through the hard work of Mr. Rivera, Ms. Horton, and our team, that is coming together well. I want to share some excitement for a new attendance initiative that we are launching as our students come back to school. We have worked to put together an attendance postcard. And what that is, it's an opportunity after our school administrators and our teachers are able to welcome families and students in for Meet the Teacher. The parents will receive a postcard that has an area to identify the students' absences, but the goal of the few absences, if any at all, that they will shoot for this coming year. So the goal is that we learn more about why coming to school is very important. We learn more about why being absent is causes such risks and is so detrimental. And we are encouraged and motivated and inspired to be at school every day. So thank you to all of our team who's been involved in creating that.
Thank you. Good evening, President Navarro, Governing Board members, Dr. Myers, and our Alhambra community. We are excited to welcome our new educators next week as part of our annual New Educator Orientation. It's on Wednesday, July 23rd. Human Resources under the leadership of Marjorie Paez and Educational Services with Kathy Field. They've been working collaboratively to prepare 4 days of wonderful, great learning, meaningful learning. It's really designed to set our new team members up for success. Our sessions will focus on creating optimal learning environments, integrating technology, really getting some deep content knowledge, as well as understanding our academic standards and objectives. Of course, they'll spend plenty of time with their principal and some time on their campus as well to continue building and beginning to build those strong connections with their new teams. And we're really excited to welcome just over 40 new educators next week. So it's like their first day of school, kind of. So we're excited.
They're as excited as you.
Thank you.
Thank you, President Navarez, members of the board, and Dr. Myers. I appreciate your continued support and for approving the contract service agreement with Leverage Consulting Agency. This partnership is key in strengthening and elevating our Alhambra brand, ensuring that our message remains clear, consistent, and top of mind across all communication, marketing, and community engagement efforts. The added expertise is especially critical as we work to differentiate Alhambra in an increasingly competitive educational landscape. As we refine our strategies and deepen our connection with families, Leverage will help us tell our story with clarity and impact, positioning us to compete more effectively with neighboring districts and charter schools. Your leadership and vision make this work possible, so thank you for your unwavering commitment to the success of our students and the future of our district.
Good evening to our Governing Board President, our members, and Dr. Myers. On the front of student support as it relates to mental health, we're excited that we have taken this summer. One, you saw in the presentation that we've reduced some counselors and social workers just by attrition, but it's also helping support the budget. But in doing so, we have engaged in what we know is a win-win partnership, and that's the partnerships with our colleges. So we're excited to welcome 4 interns this year from NAU and ASU who will join our CSWs at our campuses. So it's the win-win. We are the opportunity for them to learn, and they're the opportunity for our students to continue receiving the services we know they need. In addition, we are expanding our Tier 3 services for our students. We're right now in conversations and planning partnerships with Canyon Health. We're also in partnership with Resilient Health. So we are adding to what I am calling the menu of opportunities for our students. So we have something at every tier. And then at tier 1, all of our counselors, as they return, will co-partner and co-present with their administrators on calm spaces in every classroom in Alhambra. So students will have a place to go, self-select and self-regulate right in the academic space, keeping both academics and the need to have social emotional safe spaces in one place. We're excited about this upcoming year.
Thank you all. And as our executive team shared, I too am very excited about this next school year. So a lot of great things going on that make us very proud and excited to welcome our students back. Today, we had the pleasure of learning alongside our school principals and assistant principals as we're digging deeper in the National Institute of Excellence in Teaching, the teaching and learning standards, so that we really understand what excellent teaching looks like, what effective teaching will look like, so that we can ensure that our kids are learning and reaching their full potential. So today was a full day of that training, and I just am very thankful to our leaders who are embracing this learning opportunity, because we are all committed to making sure our kids have the best education. So and Monday, I'm looking forward to welcoming our leaders, our team leaders, as we learn together, so that we can all effectively support all of our staff and students. And as far as Wednesday, that's one of my favorite days, welcoming our new teachers. So again, thank you to everyone for all your hard work as we look forward to an amazing year. Thank you all.
Thank you. Moving to G3, Governing Board Direction and/or Agenda Item Request.
So I have a comment and a request both at the same time, I guess. I appreciate all the hard work we put into our 5-year strategic plan. And I really appreciate when bulletins come out and when decisions are made, we tie it directly to that strategic plan. But aren't we getting close to him? I would like an update as to when we're going to start doing the next 5-year strategic plan.
Thank you, Ms. Del Campo. Thank you.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Conchas.
I've been exploring the new website. Actually, while I was sitting here listening to all of you, I've been chatting with the chat bot. And I said, when is the next school board meeting? Told me today. Who are the governing board members? It lists all of us. And why is Alhambra a great place to be? Alhambra is a great place to be because it has a strong reputation for academic excellence and a commitment to student success. And then it goes on and on and great things about us. So I would love a presentation on our website and also on our IT infrastructure and our cybersecurity, because there have been increasing on that I've heard about in the news. I know that it also impacts local.
Thank you, Mr. Conchas. Any other direction and/or agenda item requests? Hearing none. Moving to H, meeting closing. H1, next governing board meeting will be August 14th here in the boardroom. H2, calendar of events. And H3, adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I move that we adjourn this meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Conchas. Do I have a second?
A second.
Thank you, Mrs. Solorio. All in favor say aye. Aye. Meeting adjourned.